Well, Mark, though, can you get some extra buzz if you are tapping into something that's already there?
You know, it depends. I mean, let's say you're a restaurant and it's a geographic industry. If you're in, say, Detroit, Detroit's really not a brand. It's not something people visit. It's not something that's enthusiastic. But let's say you're in Washington, D.C. You've got, people who are visiting from all over the world. And you can throw a little spice in there. You can have, let's say, it's the Clinton Clutch hamburger, and the Bloomburger. And every week you come out with the stats. What's selling better? Is it the Clinton Clutch or the Bloomburger?
Well, that's funny. Someone should do that if they haven't already. And do you think, is there any danger of sort of becoming cheesy or becoming too trendy and then not trendy?
Well, I do think that, like what the panelists are saying, that you should actually do something you love. But in regards to being cheesy, there's all levels, no matter what business you're in. If you're in fashion, it could be everywhere from Bergdorf Goodman to Macy's to Target to JCPenney's. And there's always some community that needs that service. So I don't think you can necessarily be too cheesy, but you'll find out, obviously, when people stop coming in.
If people aren't coming in. Okay, I want to expand this conversation because this is sort of my all-star marketing panel right here. And just get a very implementable tip from each of you guys about what you've learned from marketing that we could tell other small business people. So, Mark, let's start with you, actually, because we get so many questions about buzz, guerrilla marketing, spreading the word without spending money.
Well, the root of all buzz is stories, and you want people talking about your brand. You want people talking about the experience that they had at your restaurant, or with your clothing line, whatever it may be. And in order to get people talking and telling stories, you need to kind of push buttons, and they're tried and true things people always talk about. People talk about secrets. How many times have you heard the phrase, "I'm not supposed to tell you this"?
Right.
But
so you create a secret as a company?
You create a secret, you limit supply, and you limit knowledge. The outrageous always works, the unusual always works. Things about taboo, we all talk about sex and lies, and Bill Clinton, gosh, everyone's upstanding in America, but what do we watch? What do we talk about?
Well, this kind of has something to do with what you talk about all the time, Simon, is creating this story.
Right. I would agree that all buzz has a story, and I'd take it a step further, which is all stories have some sort of purpose, cause, or belief behind them, at least the authentic ones, the ones that will last for a while.
Okay, well, let's get to the person who's actually done it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that you have to create a movement. Whatever your brand is, you create a movement. It's a movie. You can explain it. The Formosa, the restaurant, it's a movement. It's old Hollywood. Everybody enjoys it, as well as the young lady, doing the tours. It's a movement of an intimate viewing of celebrities and activities that happen. So she's creating a movement. The same with FUBU. What did I do? Did I put 3 sleeves on a shirt? No. I created a movement.
But how did you create it? So you created it in your office, but how did you get other people to jump on board?
Well, what I did was I basically took 10 shirts over 3 years, kept going to video sets, putting them on artists, taking them back, putting them on artists, taking them back, wearing it on my own date, whatever the case may be. Before you know it, it was a movement because the videos were playing across the country. Everybody saw these 10 shirts, and they said, well, if the artists are wearing it and they can afford anything in the world, I need to be part of that.
You're shaking your head, Mark.
It's, if it's easy, then don't do it, because if it's easy, everyone else is doing it, and it's usually the harder path. And want to try and rename a town or get celebrities to wear your product. That's really hard.
But remember, the reward I was having was I was a fan anyway, and I was standing next to celebrities. So whether they were it or not, I got to stand next to LL Cool J. So I didn't care.
Right.
And it's always a reward, and not necessarily monetarily, but before you know it, you're having so much fun that the monetary aspect comes into play.
And just to talk about what you were referring to, you renamed a town, and it was a big marketing piece and got all kinds of press for a company. All right, Simon, you were shaking your head.
Well, FUBU is a great example. I mean, it wasn't a stunt. The FUBU has lasting power, again, because he stood on these sets for 18 hours because he was having fun. He genuinely enjoyed what he was doing, and he knew what had to be done. As he said, it's a movement, it's a purpose, it's a cause. And that has never changed. Even with success, that has never changed. Anybody can have short-term success if they're motivated just by a little bit of cash, or I could sell a few shirts. But if you have a belief, that's where the longevity comes from. And FUBU proves it.
Thank you.
All right, Simon Sinek, thank you so much for coming and joining us remotely. And thank both of you so much for coming on. This was great. We get so many questions about marketing, and to have these experts here really is helpful for us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
You might not think the movie business has much in common with small business, but there are a lot of similarities in terms of the issues each faces. Recently, 3 Hollywood heavyweights spoke at an American Express iconic event at the Los Angeles Film Festival. They